Or pack.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, let's start again. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Padawan Unlimited. I'm your host, Gil, joined by the illustrious Corey and Rob. Is there a plural to that?
Illustrious now.
Illustrious. Last week, you were lovely.
Illustrious.
Illustrious. This week. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Feeling
Thanks
good,
for
looking
having us
gorgeous.
again. Yeah. The hostess the most.
hostess
Gil
the most.
here.
Yeah. I'm excited to talk to you guys today. There was so much stuff going on in this universe.
Yep.
I know that's I feel like I'm the only one who calls it that. Maybe I should stop, but I'm trying to coin it.
Oh yeah, you gotta stick with it, man.
There's so much going on. There were so many spoilers, and I don't know if we're gonna talk about all of them today as part of the collection / spoiler update. I mean, if you haven't checked out Golden Dice podcast, they just released a video or a podcast episode yesterday, 2 days ago. They went through 40 something cards. They were talking for an hour and a half. So if you like podcasts and you like those guys, or if you haven't heard of them, listen to Golden Dice podcast. They're actually really cool dudes. Flock, Will, Jack, etc. They're really cool guys. So give them a listen, and they'll regale you with all the statistics and all the data or information regarding all the spoilers. We might pick a couple. Some news. So we're on the road to the episode 50, and then shortly after that, episode 52, which would be 1 year of Padawan Unlimited. So we're gonna do some celebrations over the next month or so. One quick piece of news and is that we are starting a Patreon and a Discord. I personally have been not against it, but I didn't want to put those out there without because I'm not a fan of build it and they will come, right? I want if people want it, they'll let us know, and people have been asking. So they have been asking for the Discord, they've been asking for Patreon, so and finding ways to support us in some form or fashion, which first of all, thank you for listening, thank you for watching us. This is great stuff. It's really motivating. But if you want to take it a little step further, we engaged a little bit more in a different way. The Discord is free. I'm going to put the link into the description and whatever for anything, all the socials. And then there is a Patreon that is also that we will attach to this, where if you so desire to subscribe, there's a couple tiers. I think they're reasonably priced. I mean, I know we're not, $3 a month will get you. Well, anyone who joins the Patreon is going to get a thank you gift, which is going to be a card back sleeve with the Padawan Unlimited logo in the back. You can hold your base in it. I know I do, so it's it'll be a nice little thank you token gift. You get exclusive access to a couple different things. Shout out on the podcast. As you go up in tiers, you get different services. So right now, the main flagship service of the second tier, which is Pupper Core, is a deck review where we can do a write-up, video, whatever you want. We'll do a front-to-back deck review of your choice every month of that, and then more benefits to come as we kind of unfold and think about how could we provide the most value for you guys. And then the last tier is the casual tryhard tier. So tier 2 and tier 3, these entire tiers are really just keeping it tight. They're not a lot of people. That's how we like to run it. And again, the Discord is free. We're not paywalling to get into that, but if you want access to different more specific chats with us, or get first looks, we'll also do some game reviews with you guys, light coaching. If you're before you get to before you pay $50 to do play testing with KTOD or whatever. Not that, hey, do whatever you want, but if before you get to that level, if you have us, we've all done pretty well at our local scenes, which is highly competitive. So we'll
speak for yourself, Gil. I'm still trash.
Oh my god. We do okay, and we have some experience with this game now. And so what I think one of the big flagship pieces of that is that we would do some light coaching. So it's VOD review, game reviews, best of threes, where we record it and then we actually talk through some lines with you. I mean, I do this already for people, but if you want a little bit more tactical, professional approach to your game, give us a shot. Again, this is just out there for anyone who wants to participate. Honestly, it's not gonna hurt my feelings if you don't do that. But at least join the Discord. That'll be fun. I have a couple moderators. My wife is actually gonna moderate. I have her join.
You've conscripted her.
I've conscripted her. Yeah. No, actually, she volunteered. Which is nice. So we'll have I don't know if unbiased, but we'll have someone who's not one of us also helping moderate the channel. She's done a lot of moderation and other things too. So anyway, that's the big news. And we're gonna talk about actually a little bit more about it a little bit more at the last segment, right after collection and meta. But until then, let's go on to collection/meta talk. What do you? Not meta. Collection / like spoiler talk. What you got for us, Corey?
No, the FFG had their stream today, which they highlighted the 2 spotlight decks that we'll get, which are like the starters essentially. So we got Qui-Gon and we got Maul, and so they showed off a whole bunch of new cards that are pretty cool. There's some really cool ones in there, and again, we're seeing that power level just increase, and the bodies are getting bigger. Everything's getting bigger and stronger. We're getting bigger versions, a little stronger versions of cards we've seen before.
Yeah.
And one that I wanted to highlight was a hero ramp card, because we haven't really had a specific hero ramp card come out, right?
Like a unit ramp card, or like
yeah, exactly.
Okay, a unit.
Because
Okay.
we've had, like resupply is mono green, resupply carrier is mono green,
Spark
but
of
the
Hope
super laser
is a upgrade or an event
Sure,
card,
yeah,
but it's not
right.
like
So we're finally getting a unit similar to super laser tech, right? And that's ETH Koth, I believe. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it's a 4-cost green and heroism, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's a 5/4, so it's a big hitter, and it's got some health there. So it's gonna stick around for a little bit. But obviously, when defeated, you may use the Force if you do put this card in to play as a resource. So it'll do work for you before ramping you, but it's pretty cool because you are getting some ramp, and one card that we know is not getting cycled out in next year. So that's pretty fun.
That's pretty
interesting because you can ECL him in, and then so particularly if he dies, you'll get the Force from attacking with a Force unit, and then you can immediately turn him into a ramp. So that seems pretty nice.
I thought you could only generate Force from bases.
There's some cards that will do it. So there is a card called Youngling Padawan. It's a 2-cost cunning heroism. It's a 2/3. When played, the Force is with you. So you gain when you play it, you gain the Force with that card.
Yeah. Well, and some of the new they released the rare bases as well, but all the basic Force bases in this set have when a friendly Force unit attacks, you generate a Force. So the Force is with you.
Right. Well, so all the bases will do it. The rare bases will also do it in different ways. But there are cards that will also help with that.
That's fascinating. They have a heroism ramp card that can wipe a unit essentially.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Stick around and then use the Force and just get it. Like you could even wait. Right? Like that seems pretty good. For 4 cost? It's like a Cham Sedula, but with like it's like a different type of ramp, I guess. You don't have to rely on like another person having higher. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, then you can ramp ahead of them, right? Cham, you can't go beyond them, right?
Yeah, and you know what? Like he's heroism, so like Fasibi or for cause I believe in still triggers with him. Right. That's pretty cool. And he's a 4. Yeah, that's awesome. Is that like is that your highlight card for set 5?
That's the one that I was most excited for what I saw. I was like, oh yes, finally.
I mean, you didn't want to talk. You didn't want to talk about Keller and Beck.
You mentioned it earlier. You go for it.
So for those of you who don't know, Keller and Beck is also the actor who played Jar Jar Binks. So they're using his character from what was it? Was it Ahsoka that he was in?
I think it was Ahsoka.
He was
one of the live action shows.
Yeah. Anyway, he's not quite heroic Vader, but pretty darn close. He doesn't ambush, but he's a 7-cost 7/7. When played, search the top 7 cards of your deck for a unit, reveal it, and then play it. And it costs 3 less. So it doesn't have the same restrictions that Vader has in terms of it has to total 3. You only get to play 1 unit, but now you can just play a unit at a discount. So it's not bad. It's not bad. And then
So-
he's got a big body to stick around.
If you do it later in the game, like you could get something big on the board.
You can get something big off of that. You can get a 6 cost if you're playing him on 10. So there's just a lot of opportunity there. So I think he's going to be really interesting. And he's only uncommon. Like that's the other thing that's wild.
There was some good stuff that came out with on the hero side in this stream. So I definitely recommend checking the stream out as well, because they played each other, got to see some of the gameplay and them talking about the cards.
You didn't want to talk about Maz Kanata, aka
there is another Maz coming.
Well, but this Maz is basically a Force Lieutenant instead of Fleet Lieutenant.
Exactly. So it's if you have a Force unit when you play Maz Kanata, it's a 3/4 at 3 cost.
Yeah, 3/4.
So again, we're getting similar cards with bigger bodies. And so this one is when you play it, if you have a Force unit, you may attack with that Force unit and get +2 on that Force unit. Which is it's pretty cool. Again, we got the Force synergies there.
Okay.
We also got a Kylo Ren unit card, which is mono black. So going right into that, Revan leader. He's a 2 cost 2/3 with Overwhelm, and when you play him, you play an upgrade on him, you may use the Force and draw a card. So he's going to get you some card advantage there, and then be a pretty cheap unit that's going to stick around again.
Yeah. Wow. And then Deepa and Pong Krell also look interesting.
Deepa, I thought Deepa is almost more
Deepa
of
is
the
a 6 cost ambush saboteur.
Yeah, ambush 5/7. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
there's some really good stuff. The one thing I will say is this Order 66 card, what is that good for right now? I was like, well, this is what it's good for right now. I was like, oh, well, they just released it a set early here, but holy crap, Order 66 is going to just wipe out people's boards.
Yeah.
If you don't know, that's the one that just deals 6 damage to all Jedi trait cards. So
that's going to be
it's not even 6 damage, right? It's just like -6, I think.
No, I think it's 6 damage.
Is it 6 damage? Okay. I forget exactly the wordage.
Definitely a must-have in every.
It's going to be
those stocks are going up for Order 66.
Stonks.
Oh my god.
But I'm interested. I'm actually interested in Pong Krell because he feels like a late game. Like the longer he stays on the board, the more of a problem he's going to be. Particularly if you have
Krell's a blue villain, 7 cost 2/9 with grit. But what he does, he's 2-for-1s, because when he attacks, he does damage based off of the hit points he has on him.
Well, so it's you may
he's attack value, and he can defeat something that's
with less
lower
remaining HP than this unit's attack power. So he's if you could, particularly if you can start to ping him early to get him like just over that edge of like a 4 or something like that, and then he attacks, he's going to be a problem.
So
and it has to complete the attack. So that's the only limitation. So he can't die on the attack, but you can throw him into something, survive it, and then like wipe something. That, 9 health. Yeah, 10 health because he can go to because he's 2 to start. So if you put 8 damage on him, he can kill something that's 10 health or less. He could.
No, I'm saying he's a 9. He's a 2/9. So
yeah, he's a 2/9. Yeah, but I'm saying if he takes 8 damage in return, you could remove
be at 10.
a 10 cost on that attack.
A Devastator.
A Devastator. Yeah.
That's wild. So a little bit of lore. Pong Krell is such a jerk of a Jedi. He was like a Jedi Knight, I think. He wasn't a master.
No, he's a general.
Well, they were all kind of generals. If you were a Jedi Knight, you were pretty much a general. But during the Clone Wars, and in his episode, he's just like sacrificing clones left and right. He's like, we gotta just go down the gullet. He's just like slaughter like his own troops, and everyone's like, what are you doing? Like, this is bad. Like all the clones are like, what are you doing? He's like, we gotta follow orders, whatever. Turns out that dude was trying to become Darth Tyrannus.
He was a Sith defector.
Yeah, he was gonna defect to the Sith and try to be Darth Tyrannus's or Count Dooku's apprentice. So that's why he's a bad guy in that card.
Yeah, they called out in the stream how he's a Jedi, but a villain Jedi.
Yeah,
he's blue black. So
yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
We'll see. Maybe, I don't know. Well, you can't use the other Krell from set 1 because he's double green. Anyway, that is fascinating that his mechanic is so unique at this point, and the stats are so good that he can take out like really big units. Very fitting for him. He was kind of a beast of a character.
Yep.
in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Is there any cards that you're excited to collect, Corey?
Collect wise,
Yet?
not necessarily
Nothing
yet. I mean, the thing is, I want to see the Carbonite versions. I want to see these prestige versions of these cards. And I can't wait for that because those are going to be the ones I'm really excited for.
We're probably gonna get some good. We're probably gonna get Ponkrell. We're probably gonna get Deepa. We're
I
probably
don't know if we do. We got a lot of ships last
Yeah.
time. I don't know if we're going to get that many. We'll see. The thing is, though, they teased the border of the prestige cards with that Grogu.
Yeah.
And I'm not
Garbage.
a fan of that. If that is how it's gonna look, I gotta see it more on other cards, but it's not as eye-catching as the ships one from.
Yeah, the
from
ships are very
Lightspeed.
vibrant. There weren't borders on the ships. They were just like scenes.
But it's not even borders for the Grogu one. It's just
It's
like
like
the
the
way that they
frame.
do, the framing of it.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they look good because I mean, from an investment perspective, this is an opportunity for the collectors out there who are investors to like really potentially bank on it because like the Carbonites for Jump to Lightspeed, they've stabilized in terms of serial cards. We've already hit, I think, the bottom of all the prestige cards as well. So I don't think they're going to get any lower right now, like significantly. Like you can get a Banshee prestige for like $2. Right. I think the Sabine's Masterpiece non-foil is like 18, so that kind of retains some value. And they look good, so it's not a matter. If anything, it's showing that like it's not a matter of what it looks like; it's how they play. So that really dictates the price right now. But I was hoping that the Force one would be play and looks. But if looks is an issue, then they better play really well, or else like people aren't gonna.
Oh, for sure.
The
The thing that's interesting too is how the market's changing with Django leaving, right? So with Django gone, how that's impacted the market as well, because obviously Triple Dark was blowing up, and that just tanked. And it's still it's still up there for the hyperspace one. I think it's still like $15 for the hyperspace because I'm assuming people think it'll come back at some point. But
so I think even strategically. So like, let's say, if you're trying to make some money, right? Like for example, Sabine Wren, her stocks were depressed during the reign of Django because Sabine just couldn't win. So she got down to like 190 at one point, $200 for just the showcase. And now it bounced back up another $50 because as soon as he left,
did that too.
Yeah, Akira. So like, it's one of those things that like, not that you should time the market because that's like always a bad like
invasive
strategy.
Wait a second.
but I think that like if we expect another ban, it's actually a good thing to think about like which leaders were good before pre-ban and maybe good again, and you can potentially jump in and make $50. I mean, for
if
the
you're
top,
looking to make money off
for
it,
the top
right?
leaders,
Like,
which
if you're just trying to get value for something you're collecting, it's the same idea, but it's interesting to see. And the other thing that's kind of cool is to see Vader, like the Vader 4 showcase was like super popular. Obviously, when it first came out, nobody knew what was going on. So that was what,
like
$300 to $400
right now, right?
It's $300 to $400. And then it went down to like 170, and it's gone back up now because it is doing very well. Recently, the past couple of weeks, it's been very strong.
I think I saw it like 190 most recently. It was really high, like Rob said and Corey, you said, like it went down, but I think it's stabilized roughly around $190 at this point, $200.
I think that might be a interesting showcase
because he's Force, right? He's still a Force unit, so that's Vader 4, baby. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's doing well. This past weekend, I think a lot of the European PQs, and Europe's got a whole different meta than the US, but a lot of the European PQs, it was top 8ing like every single one of them. So
let's talk about that, Rob. Going over good segue. Look at that natural synergy we've started to develop as we over the course of months at this point and segments. So Rob, what do you got for us in regards to the meta?
The rise of Data Vault.
Yeah.
All Data Vault all the time, baby. we kind of started to hit on this last week a little bit, and I think it's going to continue to hold because it turns out having over 30 health is kind of good.
Oh, really? Tell me more.
Yeah.
More health is better. Who knew?
What?
Yeah. But I mean, specifically, like we're seeing, Kira Data Vault at all these PQs, both European and domestically, doing particularly well. And I'm not shocked by that. I've been playing Kira Data Vault a little bit myself, and it feels real good, guys. Except for when your deck clunks, which can happen because you have 10 extra cards in there. So and we talked about this a little bit last week. But I think the strategies with Data Vault, and again, just to kind of recap, Data Vault is a 33 health base that requires you to add 10 extra cards to your deck. As the requirement for getting that 3 extra health.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're adding cards that are effectively side grade or do something similar to other cards in your deck, and so you may be diluting your deck a little bit, but you're still getting on draw, you're still getting cards that you would want. The downside on this is not that high, and the upside is very high, particularly for control decks. It usually gets you that 1 or 2 extra turns that you might need to stabilize. But we're not seeing it just in blue-green villainous. Obviously, we're seeing blue-green heroic with Ray Data Vault, which is getting very popular. There was a PQ winner in France with Poe Data Vault, which I thought was interesting. It's still a 61-person event, so it's still not a small event. Yep. Pretty respectable. But there's also been the rise, of course, of Sabine again. Sabine is still, Sabine ECL is still in the meta and still a force to be reckoned with. So I think we're going to see that because Sabine still
has Vault has been a deck as well. So
I don't quite understand that one. I'm kind of with Gil on this, where it's I don't quite get it, but so you can do it.
I will say my perspective here, kind of unrelated, but if you're gonna play a Data Vault, as a new player, even for me, like I'm still relatively new in a sense, like been a year now playing this game, right? But in the big scheme of things of TCGs, that's still like a new person. These Data Vault decks are very technical. Like,
yes,
it's like not only technical but also expensive because like Kira's deck requires like Avengers, Annihilators, whatever. Like you need those are expensive cards, right? So not only is there a price break here, not that it's pay to win, but it to get all the cards in the ratios you need, it can be run you a couple $100 easy, right? It's also very technical because there are so many pathways that you can go and that you need to take, and there's 60 cards, so now there's more to calculate, right? There's more to keep in mind. So even though they're winning, like for me, I'm not playing Kira, or I might play Ray, but like just because I've done it with Obi-Wan in the past, like the same color combination, but I'm not playing Kira because there's a lot to learn. Like don't expect to like pick up that deck and then go to a PQ and just like win. Right, and I just want to caution people in that when they think about the meta, like these decks that win, right, and consistently, right, like Kira, Data Vault, those are people who are probably very experienced and have played in previous sets. And even one of the winners is like who's Woo, the most recent one, and who's local to New Jersey, and also KTOW member. He's been playing that combination for like forever. Like even back
since it was out.
Yeah, even back. I think he topped some tournaments back in the Gen Con or something with that deck. Like I'm telling you, I'm not trying to discourage everyone, but like just to set the perspective, right? As the meta evolves, you have to remember there's a ramp up time for you to learn, and some of these decks are much harder to learn than others. There's a challenge, there's a knowledge curve.
Yeah.
So
well, and Gil, I mean, we can talk to you. You got to see this firsthand because you were looking over my shoulder as I threw that game away. Yeah. But we played at a store showdown this past week, and I was running Kira Data Vault. I had a middling record, but in my last my last match against one of our locals, Tyler, who played a very good game. We Gil and I were kind of dissecting it afterwards, and I kind of threw that game away. There was a point in time where, yeah, there you go, Gil. There was a point in time where I had him on 20 health with the green Devastator, not that red Devastator, on board, ready to attack with a Relentless in hand. And I got in my head and got concerned about, he had a Luke on the other side, and I was like, oh, he's going to start healing up. I need to deal with this. So I had removal in my hand, and instead of just slamming down the Relentless and making him deal with that, or just attacking with the Devastator and then putting the Relentless out afterwards, I decided that I was going to deal with Luke first, and then come up behind it, and it ended up leading us to basically drawing at the end of that match, because we went to time. Where if I had just attacked with Devastator before doing anything else, I would have had him on 30 health, and he was running a Data Vault. He's running Colossus. He was running a high health Bath as well. So I still would have had him within kill range by the next turn, and he probably wouldn't have been able to do anything about it.
Yeah, super.
Yeah, the Data Vault and the like you were saying, Gil, the Data Vault math and everything that has to happen is much more involving when you're adding the extra cards as well as adding the extra health. Because a lot of times we're not used to, like, we've only had before like this, we've only had bases that were lower health, right? We didn't ever have bases that were beyond 30. And so that can mess with the math in your head a little bit. And so if you're not playing those games constantly and being used to having that extra health and understanding, all right, I have these cards that are coming who knows what's coming, these are the lines I need to play, but I have that extra health to kind of give me a little bit of a cushion, so to speak, to do other things and not have to necessarily worry about removal as much, because that can be very distracting, right? If you I played a game because I was playing Boba Data Vault, and I played a game where I had lethal if I had done one other, like if I got my Victor leader out and I boosted all my units, right? I would have had lethal, but I wasn't thinking of that. I was like, oh, how am I going to deal with this card over here, and how am I going to get rid of this unit? Instead, all I needed to do was just put down the card and then just slam face and win the game. But then I was like, oh, I got to deal with this unit, so I had to do that. And then when I did that, I was like, next turn they were able to turn the corner and get me. So
sorry, go ahead, Rob.
No, good. I was gonna say, well, because speaking of Victor Leader, we want to talk about a key card in that Vader yellow deck. This is gonna be interesting. But what do you have before we jump into that?
Oh, I was just gonna say that, so a strategy you can potentially employ with this meta, because there's a lot of people potentially that are gonna be having all of these decks that have a lot of lines. They're gonna have to Rain Man it and think about all these different things. And if you just play something relatively simple, straightforward, not too straightforward. So, for example, the Vader aggro deck, very, very, very straightforward game plan. You can get done with all your moves in half the time that a Kira player is going to do it, right? You could potentially scoop some wins just because you have a fresher brain, right? Let's say you lose round 2, right? Okay, you can still get in to the top 8, just win out, and as the day goes on, other people are going to be getting tired, and you're still going to be relatively fresh because you'll finish your matches in 20-30 minutes, right?
Yep. Maybe that's why it's doing so well. Like, they have 15-minute matches, and
it's why I love playing Django. You're done in 20.
However, it can a Sabine matchup can go very long. Like, I played a mirror match against Sabine, and we took 40 something minutes. We actually got to 9 resources on the third game because we were kept going back and forth. And I lost that set because it's whoever has initiative wins. They got initiative the first time, so they won the first game. I won the second. The third, I lost right at the end. But what can I do? Anyway, so tell me about Vader 4 from Jump
Vader 4. Yeah, so this green yellow deck is interesting. Most people are running it on the 30 HP base. I think there might be a potential for Nabat Village here, but I still need to play the deck a little bit.
You're running a lot of low cost units. You don't need it.
Well, the reason I'm kind of thinking about it is because you want to hit Victor Leader, you want to hit certain things for turn 1, turn 2. So usually when you want to draw a specific set of cards, Nabat Village ends up being a little bit better. But I don't know if the 3 health is worth it. That I got to test out. But I got to run it at 30 HP a little bit more before I commit to that. But very, very interesting deck. Basically, you're leveraging Vader's ability to drop out 1/1 ties almost every turn, and if you can pull it off right, you can even do it turn 1. You take the X23 X23. What is it? X38 or I can't even remember. X32. It's the land speeder that just came in this one. The 2/3 ambush yellow. Yeah. So if your opponent goes ground on turn 1 and you have that in your hand, you can play that. You're going second. You can play that from your hand. It attacks. It's a vehicle, and now you can poop out a 1/1 in space, and now you've gone to both arenas on turn 1, and it can be very difficult for your opponent to come back from that. And you're like,
usually
yeah, it's
if
just
you're
a 1/1.
ambush, you're dying though.
Yeah. So
yeah, but
before we get too technical, with the singular deck, I think let's talk about the macro level of like why that deck has been successful. And sure. I'll go first because I think because I know I just sprung that question on you, but I think, and just what you mentioned before, there's a flexibility in approach, even though it's primarily a space deck. You are not beholden to only doing that. Like you mentioned, there is a way that you can start generating tokens off a ground unit turn 1, which then puts you ahead, because even if you trade out, like even if you trade bad in that, you already have a unit. You still have a unit on deck, which is great. 2 for 1 essentially. Really, really powerful. That turns on a lot of other things, which I think you're probably going to go into, Rob. Right?
Yep.
Like what other powers? Like what makes this deck tick?
So, I mean, the key card in this deck is Victor Leader, right? So Victor Leader is a 3-cost 2/4 that gives every other space unit +1/+1.
Every friendly, space.
Every friendly unit in space, +1/+1. So it doesn't even have to be. That's the other thing. It doesn't even have to be villainous. It can just be a generic space unit. So all those like swarm ties that you suddenly get from maybe you do the X23 or 32 or whatever the heck it is on turn 1, and you get the tie in space, and then possibly you've got Victor 2 in your hand. Well, you play Victor 2 onto that tie that you just played, gives it a +1/+1 buff, but you get another tie. Or you could also in that same turn play Kijimi Patrollers, which gives you a 1/1, and then it generates another tie. You've suddenly got 4 to 5, ties up in space. Yeah, they only do 1/1, but then the next turn you slam down Victor Leader, and suddenly those are all 2/2s, and those are all going to base. And it starts to ramp. Damage starts to ramp very, very quickly because it's a force multiplier.
The thing that I was going to say, from my experience, is that the clone combat squadron is more important than Victor Leader, from what I've experienced.
Well, to me, I think that's kind of the closer, right? Because clone combat squadron it's a 4/4.
It's a 4-cost 3/3.
3/3, yeah, it's a 3/3 base, but it gets +1/+1 for every other friendly vehicle.
Friendly space unit.
It was a space unit. Okay, yeah. So every other space unit. So if you start pooping out a lot of those ties, it's reverse Victor Leader, and now you've got a big unit.
So thematic with the Empire, that there's a lot of these tiny ships that don't have much going on for them, but they can be force multiplied using a variety of cards, whether that is like Wing Leader or anything like that. And then I think what's also like a good closer that people forget about is that Vader Leader on the flip. You could threaten putting it on space, but really if you could put it on ground, that's 5 damage. Boom. You close out the game.
5/5 in space and 5/6 on the ground. So whatever you do, you're gonna do 5 damage.
You can't
likely.
Yeah, you can't take it down, right? If you allow a Vader for yellow to swarm, you're not removing him. Mm-hmm. And then what ends up happening is he doesn't have to spend resources. He has the action economy that he can also, if he chooses, overwhelming barrage with Vader on the
Yep.
flip
Yes.
and wipe your entire board, and he does 7. and
And
so
that's if he's
some,
on ground. If you
eh,
put him on a if you pilot
yeah.
him, he's whatever
Well,
plus. Like if you
yeah.
put him on a
5.
clone combat squadron with immediate, so if you have nothing else but the clone squadron, it's combat squadron, and you flip Vader onto it, he also poops out 2
2
TIE
ties.
fighters.
Yep.
Right. So now you have those 2 ties, which is going to give he's going to be a 10-10
He's gonna be a
when
10-10. Yeah.
when
Yeah.
he comes out. So and then you overwhelming barrage that. It's like
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if and the only answer potentially is if you have confiscate. But again, if you have one or bamboozle or whatever, or disabling fang fighter. But again, if the opponent is smart, they're probably gonna wait it out, and then all right, I'm put him on the ground,
exactly.
and you just
Yeah.
waste your turn.
You just look at the call, like how much resources they have, and it's like, all right, well, just put them on the ground and hit for 5. Why
Yep.
not?
Yeah, it's very, very strong, and it's fast. I mean, like, Vader when Vader flips on 6, you probably want to end the game there, or maybe a turn.
You
later,
want you
like-
don't want to you don't want to, and you don't want to go beyond 7. If you're going beyond
Yeah.
7 resources, you're probably going to lose because they're going to just have bigger stuff. Like the biggest thing you have
is the
depending
clone
on
combat squadron.
that or like
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing coming out that's too big, and this is a cheap deck. Like
It's all
built
commons
a
and
lot of
uncommons.
different ways. Like you can build it with cunnings if you want. You can build it where it's just all space, and maybe you put mauls in there if you want to have some removal on the ground.
The ones I've seen have had Vader, because it also
Yeah.
lets you like flip out a
Bring stuff
cheaper
out.
space unit. Yeah.
and then you can have swoop down, which space units can hit the ground with Saboteur it has as well. So there's some interesting stuff there. I actually built in paper to see how it felt.
So the meta is interesting now that a deck like this can flourish, which I think is really, really powerful. And we'll see. I guess we'll see how far it goes. Like I don't know how many. Maybe people figure it out sooner rather than later. I actually have not really seen the matchups. Like I haven't watched matchups of it versus like Kira, Rey.
Kira's a tough match.
Yeah, right. So, but we'll see. I don't want to. I don't want to dig too much more deep into Vader. I think, people know how good he is now. So we'll, if anyone wins with him, let us know.
Well, there was a PQ winner with him this weekend.
No, I mean like of any of the listeners. Like,
locally,
leave a message in the comments. Which then, so let's go on to the final topic today, which is just like we're growing our community. Like I mentioned before, we're somewhere in between, and I'm not going to give the exact number because it's kind of hard to gauge it, but we're somewhere in between 200 to 300 active listeners to the podcast on a weekly basis, which is really good. I mean, I remember when I first started doing this, I was so happy just to get like more than one that wasn't me, So, and I also mentioned earlier that we're trying to grow it because people have asked, and we want to deliver pretty good, at least what I think is pretty good quality, and then like just like product. So, but aside from like Patreon, Discords, what do you guys think we should do to help grow this Padawan Unlimited podcast community? I don't know who wants to go first.
Well, one thing I will mention is that I would love to get more guests on the podcast because that's community, right? We want to bring community on here and hear what you guys have to say. Not necessarily like every week or anything, but Gil, you mentioned we're going to have a special guest coming up soon.
Yeah.
And so
Yes,
I was going to say segue.
Well, no, I was just like, I think it'd be cool. Like, if we want to build the community, I think to get some more involvement from other people, some guests there, and maybe have some community questions that we can discuss on the podcast as well. Would be fun.
Yeah. I think Q&A might actually not be a bad option there. User posed questions or user presented potentially topics for us to discuss, and not to say that we're not trying to mine for them as internally ourselves as well, but if you guys have things that you want to hear about, that's always a great way to get involved and hear what you guys have to say as well.
Yeah, we'll put a channel for that in the Discord now. Kind of like podcast topics. Again, it's not going to be paywalled, so just in terms of like access, like you'll get channels. I have the deck list. There's a buy and sell section. There's the general chat. So like, it's not like we're gonna hide our decks from people. I even posted my most recent Sabine ECL like list that I got 5-2 with, or it's modified after that. But like, I played Sabine ECL Risa PQ, went 5-2, lost because I didn't adapt my play well enough. I'm pretty sure I could have taken it to top 8. But that's just me being not me playing bad, not my deck's fault. Yeah, so we're gonna have stuff like that like there, which I think would be cool. But that's a good point. I think we should Q&A, something like that. Surveys would be good. What else do you think we should do? Like, I mean, I'm gonna give stuff away. Like a lot of that, whatever we generate is essentially going to go back to everybody. Like I know that we need to make some. People have asked for some T-shirts, other pieces of swag. People have asked for initiative tokens, as well. That I think I can produce, like metal initiative tokens. I don't know if like not me produce, but like I have a friend who does this, can like laser etch and like into coins. But I just need to make sure that like the quality is good. You know what I mean? Like in terms of can it stay shiny for a long period of time? Stuff like that.
Yeah, I think branding obviously is important. We want to rep the pod, so the puppers out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm someone else. So someone else, I forget who it was. They're the ones like, hey, I'm a pupper. I was like, what do you mean? Because pup Padawan Unlimited podcast. I was like, oh, cool. That's a good like nickname. That's why. So that's why I put the Patreon as like Pupper Pack, Pupper Core, and then Pupper Tryhard, Casual Tryhards.
I mean, your logo is
I think
logos.
I think what do you guys think about like hangouts? So I know some other people do hangouts, but like, do you think it'd be cool to like at Galactics we'd have like we all go out at like to a place just like McDonald's. I don't know.
Absolutely. I mean, McDonald's.
No, I was kidding.
Oh man,
I was kidding. Like, I don't know. Like at the lobby.
That Patreon money there.
Yeah. Hey man. Hey, again, cost effective. I'm not trying to get rich here. I'm trying to meet people.
Absolutely.
So
I think that's a great idea. Like any events that are going to be multi-day events would be real fun to have a group of the listeners. Anybody that's a fan of the podcast and wants to meet up. Absolutely, more than welcome, and looking forward to it too.
Yeah,
plus you get those bounties.
I was gonna say we may actually have T-shirts so you'll be able to find us too by the time Galactics roll around.
Yeah, that's another thing because these T-shirts were expensive. Like to get these, like it's wild how much like because you're doing limited print runs. Like I don't have like $1,000 to like print out 100 shirts. You know what I mean? Like so I have to be very particular. But I potentially could source it for like cheaper. We'll see. But that's one of those things again, like a lot of the tiers right now in the Patreon, it's our first cut. That's like the baseline. We're going to add more to them. It's just again, I'm not a fan of build it and they will come. Like I want to know what you want and then let's see is it feasible with time, effort, money? Like, can we actually do it? And if so, we're gonna heck yeah, we're gonna do it. Like, I would love to give everyone eventually. I would love to give every Padawan Unlimited listener a shirt, in some form or fashion. Like, I want to do that, right? Again, my thank you gift.
A welcome package.
Yeah, a welcome package. Yeah, exactly. Like that would be so cool. I think. But we need to. Again, that's super expensive. Not that I don't want to do it.
All about scaling. Yeah,
it's all that scale. Like. Yeah, heck yeah, a welcome package. Oh heck yeah! Can you imagine? I would love to give everyone like a card sleeve, an initiative, like a starter set, like a card sleeve, an initiative for their base, an initiative token, maybe some see-through dice that are purple, right? A T-shirt like for like as time goes on, right? As you like contribute more or whatever, you get achievements within the Discord or whatever. I don't know, something like that. Like in that starter pack, and then like actual packs, right? Like. Okay, here's your pack. Like you also get one too. Like of like whatever sets out. Like
oh man, you sound like a loot box now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know, right?
Wouldn't that be so cool? I mean, I would love to do that. We need to get to that point. Like
definitely. No, once we get a little bit more consistent Patreon subscribers, then that sounds like a great idea. Because again, like the Patreon thing is for the community, right? It's not like we're not like you mentioned. We're not gonna get rich or anything. Like everything that's coming in is going back out
Yep.
to the community.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the more people participate, the more we can do. So would love to go out
Yeah.
there and be able to give stuff away, do meetups.
Heck yeah, we could do some trades, like, or like,
Mhm.
you know, the buy and sell, instead of like buy and sell. Like, I have a lot of like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm sure you guys have it too. But like a lot of like hyperspace foils that like I have doubles, triples, quadruples of that are not that I don't need for my master set. But I would love to also like do those types of like an online like organization of like, hey,
Swap meet.
let's swap meet. Yeah. Like truly do that within our community, because again, I like that our community is relatively tight so far. Like, people will come up and say hi, and we'll have a conversation about more than just SWU. We'll talk about Star Wars, talk about life, which is awesome. Old Star Wars books, like, that's awesome. So we gotta do
And
something
if people are looking for certain cards for their deck that are common, uncommon, potentially even rares, because I have so many rares that may not necessarily be useful right now. But if people are looking for those things, more than welcome. Just once you get in the Discord, just throw them up there, and we'll see if we can help you out. Like, commons, uncommons for sure, we probably can help you out.
Yeah,
just like send stuff out there.
I may not have a pile of bulk sitting on my living room table that could rival my own height.
That's so. Are you serious? That's funny. I have.
If I stacked it up, probably.
I am like trying so hard to like clean all my bulk, and honestly, like, I would just pay for the shipping. I'll give them to you. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
that's what I mean. Yeah, like, we're not. I think we mostly have what we need for the most part. So if it's common, uncommon, definitely just. I've given away common, uncommons, full play sets to people.
Same.
So the more people involved in the community and playing the game, the better. I'm not worried about that, like nickel and diming or anything.
Yeah, maybe it'll be like a generosity channel or something. I don't know. What if you're listening to this, leave a comment in the description on YouTube, or send us an email at gil@padawanunlimited.com, or join the Discord and tell us there.
Talk to us directly right there. Yeah.
Definitely, again, we want to grow the community. This has been, it's really, I mean, I've been having a lot of fun talking to you guys on a weekly basis. You're actually you're my friends in real life, but also like fun to hang out with, just to talk about do this professional stuff. But heart sees. Okay,
you guys, if you're podcast listeners, you gotta watch the YouTube to get all the the video,
all the fun visual,
the non-audio cues,
non-audio cues. Yeah. Maybe we also potentially have to step up some of this podcast, like the video. I mean, in terms of like some visuals, we'll see. I don't know. I kind of like the fact that it's just us talking, like, like we're having a beer or whatever drink you have around a table, just talking. I like that. Okay. Final thoughts. It's 10:36 p.m. on a Wednesday night, so I don't want to keep you guys up too much longer.
Final thoughts. What are we, Jerry Springer?
Is that? I forgot about Jerry Springer.
It's from Jerry Springer.
So I assume people know what Jerry Springer is, but if you don't, that's a TV show that was really popular in the 90s.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, that's old. Yeah. It's where it's basically all hell breaks loose every episode because somebody's mad at somebody else for some.
I don't know if it was globally popular, but it was popular in the United States, which I don't, take it for what it is.
Exactly. But no, I would say I'm excited to see where this community goes, to see what we can do with this podcast, this YouTube channel. I would love to do more than just the one video, that we've been doing. Try to get more if we can get more support there with the Patreon and everything. That'll be a lot of fun to put more out to the community and see it grow.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to meeting everybody up down in Vegas. That'll be that's gonna be a blast. So like I said, I know, Gil, we're trying to figure out how to get it so we'll be decked out in Padawan Unlimited gear, supposedly.
Yeah. Oh, we can.
Probably.
It's just a matter. It's just a matter of how much are we willing to spend on that. You know what I mean? But yeah. Oh, and then so I'm going to for me. Like, I'm going to Minneapolis next week. It's also my birthday on the Saturday. No. Yes, the 24th.
So make sure you buy him a beer.
So,
get this man a drink.
Yeah, no. Get me a Coke if you want. But I will have a fresh set of cards for the bounty. This is a big event, so I might throw in. You know what? Fuck it. Excuse my language. Oops.
Family show guild.
I know. Sorry. I will throw in a showcase into that pile.
Ooh.
And but that deck is gonna be fat. I'll put like 50 cards in that sleeve as part of the bounty. So you have to come try to get it. Hopefully the force is with you. But yeah, say hi. I'm probably gonna 0-2 and then drop and just grind for tickets. But we'll see what happens.
And I was trying so hard to figure out a way to get it there, but unfortunately, I will not be there. And I've not gotten to go to any of the regionals or sectors at all, so I'm very disappointed about that this season. But try much. We're gonna get there next time.
I'm there with you, Corey. I haven't made it to the regionals or sectors, but you'll see us at some local PQs coming up. So
we got 20 years to do it, guys. We're good.
Let's hope.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Thanks for joining me, and until next time, may the force be with you.